Hi everyone and welcome to week 8. This week, one of the things we are focusing on is synesthesia. And we're going to use synesthesia to work on building our images by using sense in a way you might not have thought about it before. Synesthesia, officially, from dictionary.com, means a condition in which one type of stimulation evokes the sensation of another, as when hearing of a sound produces a visualization of a color. These sort of crossed wires can happen between any two senses, and it's interesting to see the way they can play out in your life and in your experiences. A second definition is a sensation felt in one part of the body as a result of stimulus that is applied to another, as in referred pain. So I thought that is less what we're focusing on, but could make really interesting poetry. There's a video in this week's PowerPoint which you can click on in the file and take a look at. This is someone who hears color and creates paintings based on listening to songs or people speaking. That might be interesting to you in your own artistic endeavors. Here's another exercise which you can, in a moment, you can pause the video and do. You're going to choose one of the questions or all of the questions and just write a little bit. What does gravity smell like? What does light taste like? And where can you touch joy? So go ahead and pause, write, and come back. Okay, you're back, or you didn't leave. Hopefully you left and wrote a little bit. Because the next thing I'm going to show you is a poem that answers those questions. One of my good friends, Michael Hoover, wrote a poem called Making Sense, in which he uses synesthesia. He writes, "I smell gravity below moss and churned earth, under thickets and decay, beneath eroding banks where ground and water marry. I taste light beyond stars and caverns, in stories behind ancient eyes, beside city curbs teeming with grit and broken lives. I touch joy in freshly dug dirt, among songs whispered in cornfields, inside God's purse where there is no change." So it would be interesting to see what you wrote in response to those questions in comparison to how Michael approached it. And this might even turn into a poem for you. But you can see how adding this different level of sensory images and talking about imagery in this way makes poetry more compelling and interesting. In this week's, for the prompt for this week, I have a training chart that I want you to download and fill in. So what you'll do is on the left-hand column, you'll write emotions. So maybe just start there and write some emotions. And then from there, you'll fill in. So for every emotion, you will identify a sound, a taste, a smell, and a color. So these are just an example. For sadness, steel guitar, gravy, penny or doorknob, burnt orange. Don't overthink this or stress about it. It's really just a gut instinct. When you hear, thinking of the emotion anxiety, maybe you think of tea kettle, just comes to mind, steaming tea kettle, the sound of it. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter, write it down. They say that if you create a chart like this and you review it every day, let's say you review it before you go to bed or in the afternoon or whenever, eventually you will become more of a synesthete, that these sort of cross-wire connections will become more second nature to you. And they can also, whether forced through a chart like this or organic as they pop up in your life, can make great poetry. Final thought for this week: be courageous and try to write in a way that scares you a little. So take that leap this week with your work. Do something you've never tried before that really, you're going out on a limb and trying a new form, maybe a new style. Maybe synesthesia scares you a little and you're going to go out on the synesthesia limb. Maybe you're used to writing in sentences and this week you're going to write all fragments. or your whole poem will be images with no commentary. Whoa. Think about a way that you can kind of step out this week and try a new thing. That's what this class is all about. All right, everybody, enjoy.